This might be the reason your photos always suck. Howdy, I'm Ugonma Nduka, and one thing I'm really trying to figure out is how to share in different ways. How to get yourself to look good and feel good in photos. I made a TikTok on this, but I can't do much explaining in 15 to 60 seconds, so here I am. The secret for me was simple. I gotta see myself. Got to. I'm not a freaking model, so if I don't see myself, I don't know what to do in front of the camera, okay? When I get a shot like this, okay, I didn't just pose and get that on the first take. I had to slowly adjust, see myself, and make sure I didn't look constipated, because that be happening, okay? It be happening. So the first way to finally not have suckish photos, sucky, whatever. Look yourself in the mirror as you're shooting, as you're snapping, preferably with a full body mirror. However, there are obvious limitations to this first tip. For most, this is going to mean that you're probably going to have to shoot inside your house, or at least inside a building, because you're using a full body mirror. Let's just say, for the sake of this example, that you're using a full body mirror. It limits you to being at home, pretty much at home. Yeah. Secondly, this mirror has to be light enough for you to move around, because even if you're at home, you're gonna move around to find the light. But you shoot in different areas, right? It's gonna have to be light enough for you to move. Next, sometimes the camera is blocking your view from the mirror behind the camera. So you have the mirror behind the camera, by the way, so you can see yourself as you're posing in front of the camera. However, sometimes the camera is blocking it, and so in order for you to see exactly what you're looking like, you have to move. You have to, tilt to the side. And if you tilt to the side, well, the whole point of seeing yourself while you're shooting so your photos don't suck is to see your body in the position that is as close to the pose that you'll be doing in the actual photo. I hope that made sense. Do I need to reiterate? You want to see yourself posing in a position that is as close to what you'll be doing in the photo. So if you're having to move and tilt in order to catch your full, reflection in the mirror because the camera's in the way, it's not as effective, because then what you see in the photo won't be exactly what you saw in the mirror. I hope that makes sense. And of course, you have to have a wall to rest the mirror on. This can really pose a problem when you're facing directly the light, like I am right now. The window is right behind this camera. Well, the mirror would also have to be right behind this camera, which means if I put the mirror there, it's gonna block the light. So that's not a solution now, is it? I can't use the mirror, which is the whole point of this video, is to use a mirror. So you can see that this tip isn't 100% the best. Does that make sense? Yeah, 100%, whatever. It can work, but it's best with side lighting. Sorry, my phone was about to turn off. That's why I keep tapping to the side. Okay, moving along. I did make a TikTok on this next particular tip. By the way, go ahead, follow me. Unless TikTok gets banned in the US, then of course, you can't follow me. Okay, so you set up your camera in set it up for the photo, whatever angle, height, whatever. Set up the camera, but instead of putting it in photo mode, put it in video mode. Record a video, do your poses, go through different poses, try different things while it's recording. I don't know why I blinked. While it's recording, and then once you're done trying different poses, like one, and then how about this, and then how about this. Then I would stop this video, go back, watch the video, see what the poses look like, see which ones I like. Then I know how I look doing each pose, and then when I switch the camera back to photo mode, and I redo the poses that I liked. So let's say I don't know what I did. Let's say I liked this one. Then I come back, sit down, and try to redo that pose. The problem with this, you're not actually seeing yourself as you pose. So I consider it like halfway guidance. It's, there's a little bit of guidance. I mean, a way to combat this is you could, and I've done this before, I did this for the TikTok video, you can take screenshots of the pose in the video. The video where you were testing poses, you pause, by the way, when you're testing the poses. So you pause, and then you do another pose, pause, another pose, pause. And you could, when you pause, just take a screenshot of that and use that as your actual photo. That way, you never even have to change the camera to photo mode. You're just getting your photos by taking screenshots from the videos, from the parts that you were posing and standing still. But the problem with that is when you take a screenshot, the file is no longer as rich. So when it comes to editing the photo, essentially when you take a photo on a camera, it's either JPEG or RAW for most of us. So that has a lot more information. The file is more, I can't think of an adjective, but it has more information is how it can be described. So it's easier to color, it's easier to edit more detail. Whereas a screenshot, there's less information on that. I think it's, at least on Macs, they're PNG files. So when you're trying to edit colors and whatnot, you don't have as much control over your editing process. So that one isn't like the best if you're going for the highest quality of photography. You feel me? Anyway, this one is better than number one, but it still has its limitations because you're not getting into the pose and essentially taking the photo right after without moving from that pose as you saw it. You're getting up, looking at the video, coming back and trying to replicate what you did in the video. Which leads me to number three, save the best for last. This is the method that I've used the most. You know, I'm gonna try to bring my voice down just an octave because when I be watching these videos back, my voice, I sound like a 12-year-old. All right, let's do this. This is the method I've used the most, shooting tethered. Shooting tethered just means you're seeing your camera screen from another device. So it could be a laptop, a tablet, or your phone. I'm using my phone right now to see the video. That's why I keep, you know, tapping. All right. I used to use my computer. Now I use my phone. On my computer for Canon, I only use Canon, girl. I was using, the app is called EOS Utility or something like that. It's clear if you Google it, how to tether to Canon to your camera, you'll find it. But it's called EOS Utility, I think. Haven't used it in a while. You can use photo and video on that. On the phone, I want to say most, I know Nikon, Sony, and Canon, the three main ones, have, the three popular ones I should say, have phone apps that you can use for tethering. The Canon one is called Camera Connect. And depending on which Canon camera you have, you might also be able to tether with video. I'm shooting on a 5D Mark IV. So now I can shoot video and see it on my phone. With my last camera, the 70D, I couldn't. It only had the camera option available. With my Canon G7X Mark II, it can't tether video, only photo. So I guess it depends on like the advancement of it. I don't know what it depends on the camera. I don't know. Anyhow, I showed this in my last video using my phone, how I look at myself as I'm posing and fix everything and then take the photo without moving. This is my saving grace. I couldn't take beautiful photos without tethering to my phone. I couldn't feel beautiful in photos without tethering to my phone and being able to see myself. I can't tell you how many times I've posed thinking I look like this when I really look like this. But with tethering, I can see immediately when my face looks stupid. I can abandon that pose and figure out something that looks more better. Okay, yeah, more better, come on. Because again, I am no model, okay? I am no model. I have no desire to be a model. This all started just because when you're always the one behind the camera, especially if you are even interested in being a photographer, you probably never get good photos of yourself, okay? You over here working overtime, getting angles for everybody else. When it's time to get your photo taken, everybody clocked out, you know? So I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of being tired and sick of not getting photos that I felt like I looked good in. And that's not the only reason. It was also, I've been talking for probably 10-15 minutes. My camera wasn't even recording. Okay. I fell in love with photography, but I had no one to shoot. Aw, womp. So I was seeing all of these beautiful shots of bloggers and Instagram and just photography in general, on Pinterest especially. I love Pinterest. And I felt like, dang, I can't, how can I get shots of like this for myself? Because a lot of them have either boyfriends that take their photos or photographers or photographer boyfriends. I had none of that. So I felt like, I started to think maybe I can get these shots of myself. That's when I came across Sorella Moore's page. And it was around the time, it was like 2017, 2018. She had just started doing self-portrait videos. And I thought, yes. This is what I've been trying to do. It was that thing where you're trying, you have all the puzzle pieces, but you don't know how to pull it together into a final image. And then I see Sorella Moore and it's like, oh my God, she had the same puzzle pieces and she figured out that she cracked the code. So that is what I began to do. Take self-portraits. It was the perfect solution to my problems. So this was attempt number 2 to show how I, Ugonma, who felt truly unphotogenic and incapable of getting a pretty photograph of herself, was able to do just that. Get beautiful photos of myself. Yes. And you can too. I promise you can too. Because anything living and breathing can look beautiful in a photograph. You just have to know how to take the photograph. So stop by next week for another video on tips for how to pose and get nice photos. I'm Ugonma. Follow me on socials. Ugonma. Comment down below all that jazz, subscribe, whatever. Alright. Ugonma. Holla.